Alright, today on Speed Duel Deck Profiles, we're looking at an older deck that actually got some new support that it definitely needed, and it's actually pretty competitive now. So that deck is the Bones deck. So with the newest set, the Scars of Battle, it got this new skill card, Servants of the Fallen King, which says that once per turn, you can send one level 3 or lower zombie normal monster from your deck to your graveyard, which is pretty huge in pumping up your King of the Skull Servants. So let's see what the rest of the deck has in store. So first of all, as this is a deck mainly focused around King of the Skull Servants, we're going to be playing 3 of him. And he's just obviously a really good effect monster. If you don't know his effect, what it is that the original attack of this guy becomes the combined number of King of Skull Servants and Skull Servants in your graveyard times 1,000. So he just quickly jumps from like 2, 3 to 4k depending on how many monsters you have in your graveyard. And he does have a bonus effect that if this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can banish one of the other King of Skull Servants or Skull Servants from your graveyard to special summon it. So I mean, like, it's just really huge. I mean, if you say you're at like maybe 4 or 5,000 on this guy, and somehow he gets popped, no, it would have to be by battle, but if he gets put in defense mode or something like that, you can just drop another or just banish one of them from your graveyard, and then just get this guy back on the field for like 3 or 4,000. So it'd be like 1k less, but it's just really good to have that that option there. That, I mean, like, you know, your opponent won't just get like a direct attack from you. So next, obviously, we're going to be playing 3 King of the Skull Servants. 3 just Skull Servants, sorry, to accompany our King of the Skull Servant. And these guys are not very powerful, but obviously they really are just in this deck for the effect that that King of the Skull Servants had. So it's really good just to set these guys and let them die, let them go to the graveyard, just to kind of rack up those points. You could, I don't have it in this build, but you could do the newest magic card. The name's escaping me, but the curtain, where you can just summon out normal level 3 or lower monsters from the top of your deck. It works well. But Zombina, a card from Attack of the Deep that has just always been a really prominent card in a lot of decks, just because its effect is so good that if this card is sent to the graveyard, and you can just get a monster from your graveyard and just special summon it. So it's really huge when it comes to just being able to recur monsters. I mean, like, if your Zombina gets popped, you can put Skull Servant back out there just in defense mode, have that get popped, and that's fine. I mean, just to kind of buy you some time and build up your defenses until you're ready to strike. That's kind of what this deck is all about. It's all about kind of like a waiting game, and just waiting until you are have a huge monster that really can't be stopped. And that's kind of what this deck is all about. So next, we're going to be playing 2 Veil of Darkness, and this card is also really good because it synergizes really well with this deck, where if you draw a dark monster, you can reveal any number of them from your hand and send them to the graveyard, and then you can draw 1 more card. And that's really good just to, again, just basically if you happen to get Skull Servant or King of the Skull Servants, it's really good just to have that option. So kind of on a side note, that if you wanted to play 3 goblin zombies with this instead of the 3 Zombina, that it's an okay choice. They are dark monsters, so that does synergize a little bit well with Veil of Darkness, but I think Zombina's effect is a little bit better. This effect is that if it inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can send the top card from their deck to the graveyard. That you're really not going to be using too much, but the second effect is where it gets good, that if this is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 zombie monster with 1,200 or less defense from your deck to your hand. So that would basically be, if this guy was in there, instead of Zombina, then it would be any zombie monster that you had in your deck. So it's really good in that respect, but I think Zombina's effect of having more defense is definitely a little more helpful, but it's kind of definitely up to you guys, and definitely worth testing out and seeing which one you think is better. So This card is also really, really good. This came out in Attack of the Deep. It's Pyramid of Wonders, and we're definitely playing 3 of these because they can just stack and just really provide a really good defense for your monsters. That the effect is that all monsters you get 200 attack for each monster your opponent controls, which is actually pretty huge if they happen to have like 2 monsters. That's already this plus 400 on 2 of your monsters. And if one monster is going to be destroyed, so that does happen pretty much all the time. There's not really many cases when all your monsters are going to get wiped. You can send this card to the graveyard instead. So it basically is just like really great because it's just double effects that both are just huge. And I mean, it's really tough to not want to have that card in your deck when you're playing a zombie deck. It's just so good. And next is Book of Life, another card that came out in Scars of Battle, and this is just, I would say, I mean, a staple in any sort of zombie deck. It's just so good. It basically is just a monster reborn for zombies. All you have to do is just banish a monster in your opponent's graveyard. So that does get a little tricky if you aren't killing or they're not sacrificing their monsters and nothing is actually hitting their graveyard. Then this card becomes kind of useless, but as long as there's like 1 or 2 monsters in there, I mean, you can use both of these and just basically get a free monster reborn for your zombies. So what you really want to use this for, like ideally, would be kind of like a late game, like a mid to late game where you've built up, say, like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 Skull Servants in your graveyard, and your opponent again just has like at least 1 monster in their graveyard, and you can just play this and just get out like a King of Skull Servants with like 4k attack and just like, you know, hit. But that again, it's just not it's not great like really early on when there's nothing in the graveyard. But once you played a little bit, you're pretty much good to go with that. So next we're gonna be playing 1 copy of Wasteland. I think this is good just because it's just like a field card where it won't take up, like we're playing a decent amount of spell cards and then it won't take up a spell and trap zone. You can just play it and you just get 200 attack and defense. So again, just a little way just to keep like buffing your monsters. I mean, like it's really good if you just had Wasteland and Pyramid of Wonders out and Zombina. It like you could easily get Zombina to a 2k pretty quickly just having like that little combo out, and just kind of buy yourself some time and just keep dumping monsters into the graveyard, like using Servants of the Fallen King and or Veil of Darkness, and then just pretty much just get ready just to hit them hard with like a really powerful King of the Skull Servants. And for our traps, I think we're just gonna play 3 Kunai with Chain. I think these are really good for this deck again because it does have that double effect of buffing your monsters and then being able to switch your opponent's monster into defense mode. So it's just like, it's a lot for them to deal with usually when like you have a monster that's already like getting up there, like I said, like a 2k Zombina, and then you just have a Kunai with Chain on there, and then it's just already like 2500 and they're in defense mode, and then you're just dumping monsters slowly into the graveyard using Servants of the Fallen King. And then all of a sudden, you know, you're just ahead by just a lot because you just have built up this like reserve of monsters in the graveyard, and you're really ready to go. And you have your Pyramid of Wonders where if they're gonna try to kill one of your monsters, you can just, you know, block it with that. So I think this deck really kind of has it all in terms of it has the potential for a lot of offense, not really right off the get-go, but it has that potential. And then it has a lot of defensive strategies. So I mean, it really slows down your opponent. They really can't do much if you just play it safe kind of early game and then just let yourself just build up to like a really strong monster. I mean, there's not much they can really do. So yeah, like I said, you do have the option if you really want to put in more copies of Book of Life, Veil of Darkness, or Wasteland. I think that's probably good though, playing 2 of these, and 1 of these, but you could probably add in 1 of these, 1 more, depending on which one you liked. But I would say that I think this has been working for me. So if you guys, want to test it at your locals or online, and let me know that if you think, anything can be used, a little revision to kind of make the deck a little more stronger and a little more consistent, that'd be definitely let me know down in the comments. But yeah, I think for now this has been what I've been playing with, and it's been working pretty well. But yeah, look forward to more videos, and yeah, subscribe for more.